Welcome to the Verdict Zone. Today's case is a heartbreaking study in parental alienation and the nuclear option of truth. We're calling it the poison narrative. This is the story of a mother who, after being betrayed, became the target of her own daughter's hatred, all because the real betrayer was weaving a web of lies to save his own image. Our subject, let's call her Sarah, made a devastating discovery. Her husband, Mark, had been unfaithful for a significant period. The marriage was over. They had a 15-year-old daughter, Emily, and Sarah's first instinct was to protect her. She and Mark agreed to keep the sordid details of his affair private. They would tell Emily it was a mutual decision, a simple drifting apart, to spare her the pain of her father's betrayal. It was a noble pact, born from a mother's love. But almost immediately, something went terribly wrong. Emily, who had always been close to her mother, became distant, cold, and then outright hostile. The accusations started flying, and they were shocking. Emily accused Sarah of being the one who cheated, of destroying their family because she wanted to be with someone else. The details she used were specific, cruel, and completely false. Sarah was baffled. Where was this coming from? The pain was immense, not just from the divorce, but from this vicious turn from her own daughter. She felt like she was losing everything. The truth came to light in the most modern, and painful, of ways. Sarah happened to see Emily's phone and discovered a long thread of private messages between her daughter and her ex-husband. As she read, her heart shattered all over again. Mark wasn't just staying silent, he was actively, secretly, feeding Emily a fabricated story. He was painting himself as the victim, the long-suffering husband who was abandoned. He confirmed Emily's suspicions, which he himself had planted, that Sarah was a cheater, a homewrecker. He was weaponizing their child's love to evade his own accountability, turning Emily into a shield and a sword against her own mother. This is a classic, and devastating, case of what psychologists call parental alienation. It's a deliberate campaign of emotional sabotage. Let's break down the sequence of this psychological warfare. First, you have the father's initial betrayal, the infidelity. This is the origin of the conflict. Second, you have the co-parenting agreement, the pact of silence, which was meant to protect the child. But here's the insidious twist, the third step. The father's secret campaign. He violates the pact, using it as a cover to launch his attack. He knows Sarah promised not to reveal the truth, and he exploits that promise. This leads to the fourth step, the child's misplaced anger. Emily, believing her father's lies, directs all her grief and fury at her mother, the innocent party. And this forces the final, agonizing step, the mother's defensive truth. Sarah is now trapped in an impossible dilemma. For the next 10 minutes, we are going to dissect this profound violation. It's not just a breach of the marriage vows, but a complete betrayal of the co-parenting pact and, most importantly, a deep violation of his daughter's trust. He is manipulating his child's perception of reality to save himself. We have to scrutinize the mother's dilemma. Does she honor her original promise of silence, and in doing so, watch her relationship with her daughter be systematically destroyed by a lie? Or does she break that promise, tell a painful truth that will shatter her daughter's image of her father, but potentially save their own bond? To help us understand the profound damage at play, we spoke with Dr. Alicia Vance, a child psychologist who specializes in high-conflict divorces. Here's what she told us about the long-term effects on a child who is used as a pawn. She explained that when a child is forced to choose a side based on lies, it creates deep-seated confusion and trust issues that can last a lifetime. They learn that love is conditional and that relationships are tools for manipulation. The internal conflict of loving one parent while being told to hate the other creates a constant state of anxiety and emotional distress. It robs them of a secure and stable childhood. Dr. Vance also made a critical distinction. Correcting a false narrative is not the same as parental alienation. Alienation is about poisoning a child's mind against the other parent with lies and half-truths for selfish gain. Correcting a lie, especially one as damaging as this, is an act of self-preservation and, in a way, an act of protecting the child from living in a false reality. It's not about making the child hate the father, it's about stopping the child from hating the mother for something she never did. We also consulted a family mediator, David Chen, who deals with the ethics of these situations. He stressed that co-parenting agreements are built on a foundation of good faith. When one parent acts in bad faith, weaponizing the agreement itself, the terms of that agreement become questionable. He said the primary duty of both parents is the child's well-being. And a child's well-being is not served by being manipulated into hating a loving parent. While dropping a truth bomb can be traumatic, allowing a campaign of lies to fester can be even more damaging in the long run. The goal, he argued, should be to present the truth as gently as possible, focusing on the facts and the mother's feelings, rather than on demonizing the father. It's about saying, this is what happened, and it's why I'm so hurt that you believe I would do that to our family. This brings us to our moral judgment to ponder. This agonizing scenario forces a critical question: when the agreement to protect a child's innocence is weaponized by one parent to destroy the other's relationship with that child. Does the victimized parent's right and perhaps even their duty to defend that bond override the initial promise of silence? Is the promise to protect a child from a painful truth still valid when that very silence is being used as a weapon to inflict a different, more insidious kind of pain? The battle for a child's heart and mind in a broken family is one of the most painful wars of all. There are no easy answers, and every action has a consequence that ripples through a child's life. If you believe in defending the truth and the sanctity of the parent-child bond, you need to join this court. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for the Verdict Zone. We deliver verdicts on the conflicts where love and manipulation collide, forcing us to look at the difficult choices people have to make. Defend the truth. Subscribe now.